Are we live? Okay, we're live. I need to do some adjustments. Not as much, because I put this on entertaining, because I'm such an entertaining little bitch, right? But, I have words for this, right? Anyone that tells you this game is good is lying to you, alright? Because you want to know what? I know I said... Oh, did not... I'm watching that later, okay? So... I said I would never play hero shooter again. But that was a lie, because, you know what? I heard some good things about Highguard. I was like, oh, actually, with 5v5, it's pretty good. And did you know, the trailer kind of looked interesting. So, I wanted to give it a chance, alright? I wanted to, you know, spread my legs a little bit. Open my minded pussy to new things, right? I wanted to be the bigger person, right? I wanted to see if I was wrong, because I've been wrong before, alright? But just like the fucking Mr. Beast situation, I was so fucking right about it. This is so ass. And for those that don't know, on like an old account, right? On the internet, right? I said that Dogpack with Mr. Beast was full of shit. That most of the shit that he said couldn't be true, that he provided no evidence, and was basically talking out of his ass. And then, the internet proceeded to tell me how wrong I was. They said, no, he used to work for Mr. Beast. So, you know what, I eventually caved in. I was like, you know what, he is a piece of shit. Only for it to turn out I was right. Most of the shit that he said was wrong. Most of the shit that he said didn't make sense. And he was just as immature as I fucking said he was. And guess what? Right again. I was right again. You want to know how I was right again? Because Highguard is so bullshit, right? It's not fun to play. And it's not just because I fucking suck at it, alright? I will fucking admit it. I have a skill issue, alright? I'm not the greatest at FPS shooters as much as I play them most of the time. Hell, I know more about FPS shooters. Like, I'm basically the Bible of FPS shooters compared to, like, someone like Brooms, right? I have played my fair of FPSs throughout my years, right? And even when I was a kid and I sucked so hard at them, did I find enjoyment? Did I find, like, a reason to keep playing? This game, no. I played one match, decided for me to never play this again, and made me think, oh yeah, I was so right about, fucking hero shooters. First of all, do you want to know how many heroes are in Highguard? I want you to think about every other, like, prominent hero shooter, like Overwatch and Marvel Rivals. I also want you to think of, you know, fighting games. How many, like, champions you get per fighting game? How many, you know, heroes you expect in a hero shooter? Day one launch, right? Overwatch gave us plenty to work with. I'm pretty, actually, let me look up the real numbers, actually. How many heroes were available in Overwatch beta? Because I played the beta. I played the beta of Overwatch, okay? 21 playable heroes. Now, let's look up how many heroes were available in Marvel Rivals beta. Alright, again. Not full products. 23. Highguard barely has any heroes. I think I counted 7. I actually don't even know if that's correct. I think it might actually be 6. But no, 6. I think it might actually just be 6. Because when I loaded up in my match, my entire 5v5 team, right, could pick out a slot, and there'd be barely any option left to pick. Highguard releases, like, there is no barely playable heroes. Barely. And let's look up, how many heroes were available day one Apex Legends. They're just gonna look this up. 8 playable characters. So technically, we have a little bit more. A little bit more. I don't know what makes it acceptable to just have barely any heroes. You have a hero shooter. Concord had more heroes. Fucking Concord had more heroes in its roster. And you're telling me that this shit doesn't... Like, I excuse this with Splitgate because it was more of a class shooter. It wasn't really a hero shooter. It was a class-based shooter with a little bit of hero shooter mechanics. So the three heroes that you could choose were fine. They were fun to play. I'll say this now. It was fun to play Splitgate. Day one, like Splitgate 2, day one. They were at least fun. The gameplay was repetitive, but the heroes were at least fun. They brought something new, not new to the table, but something like addictive, I'll say, to the table, right? And it's just Splitgate, you know, like having like portals and guns be like your gameplay never gets boring. Highguard, made by the same team, by Apex Legends, right? When Apex launched with 8 heroes, right? I'll give them credit where credit is due. The hero shooter market was fairly new. It was fairly new when Apex Legends came out. So the standard of how many heroes should be on launch was not really there. It was not really there. Not really there. But we're now in 2026. Alright, I'm actually going to look up the number. How many heroes are available in Highguard? Okay, 8 playable heroes. I was wrong. 8. Same as Apex Legends. But the reason why I have a problem with this and not Apex Legends is that this is 2026. Hero shooters, bad and good, have always released with a big roster. Because devs know, right? Even the devs of Concord fucking knew that they needed champions. Or like they needed a bunch of champions for players to swap out of constantly, right? This is a 5v5 shoot. This might have worked with the 3v3. I didn't play the 3v3 game mode, alright? I didn't know what the fuck it was. And by the way, 5v5 is so experimental, but it still says experimental on the tab, right? But that's neither here nor there, right? Let's actually talk about the gameplay, right? So the gameplay has you, basically, so you can, it's basically Apex Legends kind of gameplay, but with less movement, and you can actually just destroy shit. You could, like, and I mean it in, like, a way, right, where, like, destroying shit, like, getting through walls, mining ore is part of the gameplay, right? Now, this on paper sounds really good, actually. I'm gonna say this right here. When I learned about this, I was kind of excited. But I'm gonna say this right now. The melee is so bad, right? Now, what they were kind of going for is like if Fortnite was like regular Fortnite, not like build mode Fortnite, but like the non-build mode of Fortnite was more of like a arena type shooter, right? Which sounds kind of good, alright? I already like non-build Fortnite. I didn't like build Fortnite. I'm gonna be so fucking honest. I didn't like build Fortnite. I think like people were just fucking sweating on this, on that, and non-build was more my playstyle. Yes, I'd play Fortnite, for those wondering. So, the prompt, right? So, how this game works is it has a prompt every time you hit something, right? And if you hit the prompt at the exact time, it does better. And actually, you gain a buff, right? Where if you you know, mine and do all the prompts correctly, right? It gives you a buff that lets you destroy another thing instantly. I think this only works for auras. Literally have it. No, I think it also works as buildings. I fucking forgot already. And I played this while sick. I'll be honest. So Misaki probably had that factor in. But I'm not trying to talk about this in like. You know, we need some fucking music. I'm about to fucking crash out. The storm is brewing, right? Royalty free Minecraft create mod, and you can build a tank. Wait, hold the fuck up. Let me go and get a mod pack. I'm gonna install this via the app. Give me a second. I'm doing a detour real quick. Okay, this tab isn't muted. I'm going to look up royalty-free background. No, don't update CurseForge. Background music for streaming. I just need music. Okay, 1 hour of comfy. Oh yeah, this is gonna be comfy fucking alright. Oh yeah, Boba Date. Fucking love that. Anyways, back to what I was saying, right? Because I'm the most important person in the world right now. Highguard is so bad, right? So you think this prompt is already good, right? You know, oh, I get to break something instantly. I can't do that in Fortnite. What are you talking about? But the thing is, the button prompt moves too fucking fast. You have to be on your toes for it. Now that sounds engaging, right? That sounds engaging, right? Sounds really engaging. But the thing is, right, if you're in the heat of battle, and chick, you need, like, I don't know, maybe like the trader is close to you, and you need to move through these. Well, guess what? Cancel. Well, when you get the button prompt on, or if you don't do it at all, because it's not like the button prompt makes it faster. If you just don't do it at all, it will actively make it so slow, to the point it is required to hit the prompt. And I mean that as in your character will stop their hit and be like, or whatever, right? And then do it again, and you could barely tell if you hit it or not, right? It is so bullshit. Because okay. What they were trying to go for, well, I get what they were trying to go for. Having, like, a more interactable, what is it? What is it called? A QuickTime event, right? A more, like, interactable QuickTime event. But the thing is, right, a QuickTime event makes it so I am able to fucking use it, to fucking press the button. Last time I had bullshit QuickTime events was when I played the Force Unleash. And I'd rather have to go through that again than ever having to do the Highguard shit again. It pissed me off that I just stopped using it. Right? Now let's go back to the heroes. Heroes look so generic that I cannot tell you a single good thing about them. The voice acting is okay. It's not the best. And like, they just bring out lore randomly. Like, I get it, there's a lore page, but guess what? I don't want... If I have to read the lore behind a character, like, I have to read that shit instead of, like, giving subtle hints. It's already fucking bad writing. There is so much, like, there is such a better way to do this. How about actually get the characters to fucking talk to each other instead of just saying obvious shit? Like, they never, like here's the thing, when you play Marvel Rivals, right, you learn about the character's history and their relationship with characters, despite being a multiversal thing and the characters basically being new people to each other. Like in Marvel Rivals, right? The plot, if you don't really, like, and I'm going to use some knowledge from the comics, even though, but I have not read the comics. I've just looked at YouTube shorts, right? Of them. It is basically like like a bunch of people being brought in for an interdimensional crisis, right? And here's the thing, right? With all like the interdimensional theming on it, you already get that. You already get that. And with the Rivals to the End song, basically kind of tells you a little bit more of the plot, especially in its cinematics. So you are already given enough information to get to not even have to read external material to get what's happening, right? And the characters have a conversation. Like, the characters talk, and you get their personal informations, right? Like, for Venom, you could tell he has this sort of amnesia, right? And Spider-Man doesn't want him to know about, like, their past, right? So, like, Spider-Man knows Venom more than that, but, like, whatever interdimensional shit is going on, fucked up Venom's brain that he doesn't even remember why he hated Spider-Man in the first place, and decides to that it wasn't important enough to the grander scheme of things, and is willing to work with him. In Highguard, they just say obvious shit about each other. Now, I don't know if you probably can't see my cursor, right? But I'm pointing to the blue bitch with the sniper, right? You want to know how I learned that she's like a princess? And that's it? Was that the characters kept saying, Your Highness, Princess, Princess. Not what kingdom she's part of, or why she is here. Because in Marvel Rivals, right? And Overwatch, you could get a hint of why they fight. Even in the Overwatch had character trailers, so that you knew why they were here. Alright? And sure, a lot of like the lore isn't really known, really. In like the grand scheme of things. But like, when playing the game, right, you could tell, like, you learn that Tracer is like this pilot, and she was like, she went in a failed experiment and then went through time. That's why she has these time powers that as you go in back. Now, I forgot, like, if she came from like an older time period or if it was like a few weeks. I don't remember because like it's been a while. Oh, sorry, I thought the music was getting like horror-ish for a second. But you learn this style like through dialogue. Mercy says like, "Oh, you're a unique case. You know, I never had to deal with like a patient like you." And like some stuff about time travel. And that's how you learn from it in the game. You don't have to fucking read a character bio. Also, then, you watch like Tracer's trailer, you can learn that Widowmaker is like this assassin that's like targeting, you know, big names, because that's what she fucking does in the trailer. I cannot tell you a single thing. And the craziest thing is, this is coming out of Apex Legends, right? That didn't have dialogue to surmise out who was who. They had character trailers. I don't even fucking know if there is a character trailer for Highguard. Actually, I'm gonna look this up right now. Highguard character trailer. I'm looking it up. There's a Slade Warden trailer. Is Slade a character in Highguard? I don't remember.
Fiery powers and a strong right hook have made him an infamous demolition man. A decorated street fighter.
I'm watching it in the background.
Of crime lords and pirate captains.
Oh, so it just tells you everything. No. It's Asperger's exposition fucking dump. As if, like, again, character trailers are kind of have to be like exposition dumped a little bit. I understand that, but let's go to a class-based shooter, right? Not like a hero shooter. Team Fortress 2. They had Meet the Team trailers, right? They don't tell you their backstory, they don't tell you who they are, but you get a sense of who they are because of the shit they do, right? You can get that, like, Heavy is like this bronze over brains kind of man, right? That just loves chaos wherever he goes, right? But then in the trailer, you can get a sense that, like, he's much more than that. That he's much more than this, like, brute over, like, a bronze over brains type of character. Because he does this small moment where he just opens up. He's like, you know, people, you know, say that, like, they can outrun me, but I've yet to see someone that can outrun a bullet. Saying, like, yeah, I'm a personal character that has flaws and feelings about this. Like, you know, obviously he takes, like, you know, being kind of, like, taken for this, like, little buffoon to heart. Even compared to, like, Soldier, that is a fucking idiot, right? That, like, is, like, this... And speaking of Soldier, right? In his trailer, you can realize that, like, yes, he is stupid, but it's not because, like, you know, he has, like, this severe brain damage or anything. You realize he's just extremely, and I mean extremely patriotic. He is a soldier that, you know, pun intended, that actually takes, that, like, is, like, disciplined. Like, he fucking references Sun Tzu. He, despite, you know, being wrong about some parts about Sun Tzu, he still knows who Sun Tzu is, hinting that he's more intelligent, that he leads, that is being led on, that he actually most likely read the fucking Art of War. And then, right, you learn that the doctor, right, is, I mean, the medic, right, is, like, this mad scientist because he's in a lab actually performing a experiment that is showing us the origins of the Uber charge. That doesn't explain how it works, right? That doesn't explain how Uber charge works, right? But it does a good job of explaining his character type. He's a mad scientist. He finds enjoyment on tinkering people. And it doesn't tell us this. It just shows him doing it. You're telling me... fucking Valorant. Now, I have not watched character, like, a lot of the character trailers, okay? But you could tell by their personalities who they are and what they are doing just by the glimpses. You could just see in the trailers before hitting skip. And I'll be honest, some of the trailers even hooked me. The Highguard, they're just opening saying, oh yeah, he's a fucking pirate lord, but he decided to be a warden. Okay? I would have loved to see that. That sounds fun, actually. Oh, he has fire powers. Cool. So could you show me it? In the Pyro trailer, right? You are learning that he is, like, a monster to people, right? Not because, like, they are... Well, they do... because, well, yeah, they are... like, all these people are telling them how scared they are of Pyro. How Heavy is, like, saying, I fear no man. But that thing, it scares me. And the thing is, we see cuts of it. They don't just tell us it, they show it. You could show and tell at the same time. So not only did you know, TF2 show us, like in most cases, show us who these characters are, but it also shows who, they show them who these, they also tell us who these characters are. In a way, right, that it constantly is tell, show. And then, right, we see Pyro's POV, where he's just actually trying to help people, and he doesn't really think what he's doing is wrong. Like, he's all desensitized to the point where he's in a candy land. So, we see in reality, he's not actually this horrible person that the team is making him out to be. But even though, like, at the end of the day, he still is, but he's living a fantasy. And that he could have, like, a lot of mental illness. Like, it makes it, like, I get it. Like, the trailer is supposed to be, like, a little, like, silly and comedic, but it reveals how deep these characters actually are. We see Demo Man is an alcoholic in one of his trailers. He's constantly drinking. That didn't need to be told to me. You didn't need to come up to me and tell me that Demo Man was an alcoholic. You just see him as it. And again, with the Pyro trailer, it actually I don't know if it is released on launch, by the way, so I could be wrong about this, but it introduced Pyrovision, the item that you can have in the game. Now, whether or not that was after the game launched, I don't remember, because, well, guess what? I didn't play TF2 at launch. I wasn't there for the launch. Actually, when did TF2 launch? When did TF2 launch? 2007. Bro, I was a fucking toddler, so there was no way. There was no way I would have known this, right? So I want to make that out there. Let me get a drink of water. Now, I'm not saying everyone has to have, like, perfect writing for, characters. Hell, VTubers, for the most part, just tell you the lore and then never mention it again, because it's really not, well, unlike HoloLive, where, actually, even with HoloLive, it's just not important for the streams. You don't need to know who or what it is, or who or what they are. I can bet you that most of y'all, most likely, like, casual watchers that weren't there for debuts or whatever, don't know, like, HoloLive Advent was, like, made by a bunch of people that, like, come from a prison escape, that Fumiko and Mokoko, were terrible bodyguards, I think. I think that's the lore. And so, they were in prison for thousands of years, like, for a really long time. I doubt that, like, that Narissa Ravencroft's lore is that, like, she has, like, this beautiful voice, but it causes chaos where she goes, so, despite her wanting to sing to make people happy. I doubt that, like, y'all know the Kozaki Biju's lore of just being a rock and then coming alive, or Sherry's, like, need to, like, archive knowledge that, and the reason why she was in prison was for having forbidden knowledge, because, like, and I bring this up because, like, I'm not saying all, like, you need masterful writing, right? Again, VTubers just, even actually, I don't even think I even told you guys my lie. It was just, what happened was that, like, they're obviously not going to use it, and sometimes, like, Elizabeth Bloodflame kind of, like, brings it up and LARPs more than the others, I'll be honest. And, that's kind of why I admire her, because, like, she's so into character, right? But, like, you wouldn't really need to know that because it doesn't matter. But when you have a hero shooter, right, where you're supposed to engage with the characters, because this isn't like Battlefield, this isn't an old Call of Duty game, this isn't Halo, where the selling point is the combat, the story, and the story around the characters. It's the characters themselves. And that's why Overwatch perfected this so much, was because they knew that their entire gameplay was the characters, so they give them all personality, with not only their voice lines, but their designs. And I'll say this right now, Highguard's designs are so fucking generic. I've seen Roblox roleplay avatars. I've made Roblox roleplay avatars. I still Roblox roleplay to this day. I know I said I quit Roblox, but I still roleplay it here and there, okay? So, well, the thing is, right, I've made better characters in Roblox. But, like, I feel like with, they went with the Concord, right? And just did not give these, like, distinguished character designs. They weren't creative. And this is the same team, like, and I'll say this right now, this is the same studio that brought you Apex Legends, that brought you Titanfall, that made interesting character designs, not only with Apex, that had hero shooter mechanics, that had heroes that were so visually distinct that I was like instantly questioning myself, wait, is this in the Titanfall universe? Because it was so distinct. The designs just don't. Okay, I'm gonna put the image up here, right? I want you guys to look at this shit. Actually, wait, no, I'm gonna move my avatar here. Fuck you if you're in the other stream, in the portrait stream. I just farted. I hope you heard that. Look at these designs. The only one that is spoken out to me is kind of this dude and her, but what the fuck is this shit in the middle? What's that? Like, it looks like that one MMORPG you can play. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Actually, let me go on Steam and look up MMORPG real quick. MMORPG. I bet to you. Sorry if you hear a trailer. I was looking at it.
There are many tales.
I was looking at Aquanox. Didn't get it. Arby. Massive multiplayer online roleplay game. I'm trying to remember. Let me look up free to play. I think I might be able to find it. It was like this sci-fi. It was like this kind of Lost Ark. This looks like a Lost Ark character that like you play like that like you what is it? Get the chance like the armor to unlock here, right? And I don't mean that in a good way. It just looks like it's from an MMORPG design that like the devs didn't even make. The girl on the bottom right, okay, she is. I've seen her design be done so many fucking times. There was like this one game, I don't remember the name of it because I never played it, but there was like this one where like there was this girl that like had this like fucking robot and like I think a sniper rifle too. And actually, for being a hero shooter, it plays exactly like Apex Legends. I would not be like there is the chest system in this game where you get weapons from. I probably think it's from fucking Apex Legends. And like, I'm not even lying to you. So, then you might ask yourself, oh, why don't they just work on Apex Legends? I don't fucking know! The 5v5 is fucking boring, because, like, unless... Okay, so basically, think of this, like, it's like in a siege mode, right? And I heard you, right? Siege mode. There's a massive map for a 5v5 with siege mode. I've played siege mode games on PS5 before. I know what makes them good. Alright? You can have a 5v5 siege mode work, okay? But you can't have it work when you have a massive fucking map. And the objective randomly generates on that map. It's in like the first like few minutes. You're supposed to be scavenging for weapons. Which, by the way, I don't know why, there's like weapon tiers in this fucking game. Because I'm going to say this right now. I don't really see a noticeable difference other than like an ability with the legendary guns. And that's it. Also, they have this bullshit, weird system, right? Where if you're aiming and you press shift, you like get a scope. And if you already have a scope, it magnifies. Like, what? Fucking what? And as much as I hate Warzone fixed this problem by giving you attachments. Alright? Because guess what? Sometimes when I'm aiming, I will just full on press shift and run. Because then it takes me out of the aiming. And I just run. And then, but the thing is, you could do this with anything. So when you're on a mount, which we'll get back to in a second, I'll tell you why. They somehow made running on a fucking bear with a gun boring. But you could do this in a second. But you could do this on a mount. And the thing is, you have to press shift on a mount to get faster. And they'll continue to go faster. And the thing is, right, you could see where the problem comes in. Well, I'm aiming, and sometimes I want the mount to slow down, so I stop pressing shift. But I'm continuing to aim, and I decide to press shift to get speed. You see where the problem's coming? Because now, right, I have to stop aiming for a second when and I know. It seems like a whole huge gamer moment where I'm saying, I actually need a second. Also, let me make myself bigger. But it sounds like a huge gamer moment where I'm saying, do you really need that second? But I'm going to say this right now. I do need that second. I do need those couple of seconds of clarity. Alright? Because seconds in games matter. Second, like, it does. For all you know, right, the person aiming at me with a sniper rifle just came out of that cover in the second it took me to stop aiming to go faster on my mount. Thus, it fucks it up and I'm dead. This isn't a tactical shooter. I shouldn't have to be thinking about my... Like, the thing is, right, these games are supposed to... Like, fast-paced games are supposed to embed knowledge into your brain so you don't have to think. So you don't have to... It's easier the more you play to make split-section decisions. But with Highguard, that's not... Like, first of all... actually, you know what? Scrap that. I want to talk about the map, right? You are... Unless... So, how it works, right, is that randomly in the map, this huge key is going to spawn, right? And you have to lead a team, like, lead that, whether you're... And it doesn't matter which team you're on, you just need to lead it to the other base. You want to know how... Now, this sounds fine, right? Well, in the middle of a game, right, there's, like, a timer that goes down. You want to know how bad that is? Well, here's the thing, right? When the timer goes down, it doesn't incentivize tying. It doesn't make the match tie. And by the way, there's one round. So so it would make sense, right? If there's just one round, to tie it then. So that it incentivizes that the next match you play, you try harder. That you use what the game is giving you to your advantage. No. When the timer runs out, it doesn't stop the game. And actually, what it does is, it brings the key, like this huge, like, catapult key thing, to the nearest base. So it doesn't matter how hard your team fights back on the key. It doesn't respawn. It doesn't, whatever. If it's, let's say if it's an inch closer to your base, okay, and this is a hypothetical scenario. Alright? But this is... I can assume this is how it fucking works, right? So how it works is that... Imagine this, right? Two teams are locked in a stalemate at the key's spawn. But the thing is, the other team moved it by an inch. But you are still doing a pretty good job of holding them back as you finally get it so that you control the point. But the timer ends. Since the key is technically closer, because it's all on a fixed path, right? It goes on a fixed path. It's not like you can move the key wherever, where this kind of would make more sense. It's on a fixed path. So since on that fixed path it is more towards your base, it doesn't matter how much effort you put in. It will go to your base. And the thing is, right, then it starts a new timer. And that's it. You cannot stop the key. You cannot defend yourself from the key. It will break down the shield. And when that happens, the enemy team can go to your base. Now, here's the thing, right? You'd think, oh, then I can just fight them off, then get the key, and then move it to their base. Nope. That is not how it works. It will not do that shit. At least I assume it does it, because the enemy team I was fighting against, despite killing all of us, didn't move the fucking key. You realize how bad that is in game design? To make it so that it is basically locking you in place? Battlefront fixed this shit. Battlefront. Let's look at who made Highguard, right? Let's just look at who exactly made Highguard. I want to... Because I know it was for the same people. So, Wildlight Entertainment, right? Same people that brought you fucking Apex Legends. Well, I can assume that they've also fucking played games. You'd assume, right? That these people also fucking played games and would understand how bad that is. Battlefront 2 fixed this by making it so that when you defended all, like, you couldn't just push back on people, but you could stop them enough from an objective that a timer runs out. And so, no matter what stage you're at, if a timer runs out, it will take everyone off of the ship and then you can fight to get on someone else's ship. And then the cycle can repeat, no matter how long it takes to get to either. And here's the thing, right? With the map also being so big, your teammates are going to be spread across. But not only that, enemies are going to be spread across. So there is no point on trying to go and look to shoot somebody. Because I am telling you this right now, it is going to be harder to find someone. I found 2 people out of the 5-person team, and like killed one and the other escaped. And that was like in like the opening, right? Before the key dropped. What the fuck? You've given me this huge map, but there's barely any like place for people to shoot. Why give us a big map in the first place? This can work if you make it smaller. And why is there only 1 round? Why is there 1 round? Why? Why is there... A game can be finished in 5 minutes, realistically. If you are sweating your ass off, it could happen, like, finish in 10 minutes. Doesn't that incentivize for another round? TF2 fixed this issue decades ago. And you're trying to tell me that new devs can't? You just can't. You think, like, when an entire game mode is about siege, that is their selling point, and only game mode in this game is a siege game mode. It is what you're taught in the training. It's what you're taught to do. It's the only thing you could press. And I can only imagine what this is like for 3v3. Imagine how desolate that shit is fucking. How that fucking shit is, right? I can't even get my words right. That is bad game design. 101. And there's just no incentive to keep playing. There's just no incentive. Once you play 1 round, it's just, again, 1 game mode. 1 singular game mode. Well, yeah, there's technically 2 game modes, but 1 will get rid of most of your other players. And the gameplay. The gunplay feels bad. It feels like my guns don't do anything. In Fortnite, right? And in Apex, it doesn't matter what tier weapon you have. It is how good you are at using them. You can have a golden scar, but if you suck at having a golden scar, you are going to fucking die. To a player that might have 2 gray, like akimbo gray pistols. Because in Fortnite, it's not about, as much as it is, yes, about like getting, better tier guns, it is also about managing your health and your shields, and also to be better at the game, and to exploit the game's systems into your favor. If someone has a better gun than you, then fucking whatever. They'll have faster, like, they will have better shit any day. And you might be like, oh, well, Waddles, why, that just sounds fair, right? Like, if you don't get better guns, then that sucks to be you. But it's like, first of all, why is a siege mode having me scavenge for guns? And to scavenge for resources to pay for guns? Like, again, I've played a similar game mode like this on, I think, Lifeboat. Right? And you could buy... Sky Wars. Actually, in Hypixel Sky Wars, right? It kind of has it where you scavenge it. But the thing is, right? They don't give you weapons at the start. You have to find weapons. In Highguard, you are given weapons. So what incentive is it for me to go out and, like, It's so hard to explain, right? Because the guns feel sluggish. The guns don't feel good to use. I was using a sniper. I'm not the best with sniper rifles and FPSs, but I can still go beast mode with them. Alright? And you're trying to tell me, right, that me shooting a player 5 times with like a blue or, no, a gray sniper won't do shit, but a blue pistol fucking will? Also, right, the alt modes are just useless. They feel useless to use. Like, I tried using them, and I just had no idea what's going on. And yeah, but like Marvel Rivals, right? That also doesn't explain what the ultimates do. But you can expect what they do because of the characters themselves, alright? They're all in blocks. Same goes for Valorant. But the thing with Valorant is that you will literally be given a page that tells you what the fuck it does. You want to know how I know that? Because in the buy menu, when you look at your alt, it tells you what it does. And the thing is, the characters are so stylized that you understand what it does. And yes, the woman, you could imagine, the woman, right? Sniper rifle, right? So you think, right. You think, like, it, maybe, right? It's a stealth. Maybe, I don't know, it's kind of like that one ability in Destiny with the void thing, where like if you like hit that dodge, you become invisible for like a short amount of time, right? Or maybe it actually maybe it's kind of like I forgot what FPS was it, or what hero shooter was it with the ranged character, but it kind of like auto locks or like tells you where the enemies are, so like for a short amount of time, so it tells you, so like you could get better shots on them. No, actually she throws like these daggers that kind of lock on, kind of don't. Now yeah, it's kind of with the Huntress theme, but like, why? When am I gonna use that? I tried using it, and I fucking died with it immediately. Like an ult in a game feels like, it's supposed to feel like a power fantasy that you have earned. It literally is made so that even low, like, players that suck, that even people like DSP can feel that rush of excitement, and it encourages players to get better at the game. Wait, mix the daggers better than my fucking rifle. It didn't help. It didn't fucking help. It didn't at all. There was like a guy that could crush a bunch of, what is it? Walls at a good time. But like, so can, like, instantly, but like, so can, like, when you have a powered up melee weapon or a fucking bazooka. Yeah, it can go through reinforced walls, but like, why would I ever need to use it? Why? It just doesn't really change. It's basically just a boost of what you can already do in the game. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like, what is it? I'm trying to remember. It feels like holograms in Halo, right? Those hologram abilities you could use, like both Halo 4 and Reach. Like, yeah, it works sometimes, but like, it's kind of obvious. It like works for a second and then nobody cares anymore. Like, it works with like enemy AI, but other than that, like, I'm not using it. And that's my problem with it. The ults are just badly designed. I bet you if I played Concord, I would have probably found a better, like, ult ability. And you're trying to... Again, these are the same people that made Apex Legends. That also Like, this was before Marvel Rivals, before Concord, before, again, Concord being bad, but still, this was before ults. Wait, like, this was prime ults, like, experimentation, right? When Overwatch came out. Because when Overwatch came out, before that, Destiny came out, and which introduced ult abilities. And then Overwatch came out, and then Apex Legends came out. And it's like, they seem to understand what an ult ability was. Hell, even Titanfall, I think, has ult abilities. Could be wrong. Because, like, I tried to play Titanfall 2, for example, and guess what happened? I got fucking banned! Because there's a bunch of hackers in there. But still, you're trying to tell me that you couldn't find anything else? Now, the amounts, right? The mounts. I've told you, like, a little bit ago I would talk about them, but now I'm talking about them. They're boring. It sounds fun to ride a bear or horse in a battle. It's not. Because it's just like, you move, it's like using, the speeders in, what is it? Like, not like the paid speeders, but like the mounts in Star Wars, the Old Republic MMORPG. Like, yeah, they work, but they're just kind of boring. Like, there's just no incentive for me to really use them other than to get to point A to B. Why would I want to shoot off of them? They make me a bigger target. Like, I tried to be cool with it. I wanted to experiment it. So, like, I was like a bear on top of the hill. The sniper rifle. That sounds so cool. But in practice, it just didn't really matter. I was just a more sitting duck than before. Also, you just become a target. It's not like you ride in a battle and like you have like a cool sword and you're like swinging, taking people down left or right. Because that would be a cool game. That would be a cool game. What actually is that you just paint a bigger target and it's like going into a gunfight wearing all red with a, what is it, like, with a little light on top of your head while like shouting, shoot me! And like you're just not aiming, because it's just like, it's so boring to use. It doesn't help you at all, really. It helps you navigate, I will say that. It helps you navigate, but it doesn't make you feel cool. Also, you're stuck in first person. I'm not saying all first person shooting is bad. Not. Battlefield did it, and Battlefield's cool. Halo should be doing it more, but like I kind of missed when they, in Halo CE, had it with the driving port. Like the passenger princess, little seat. But the thing is, I'm driving it. I am moving this bear. It limits my view, and someone's like, oh yeah, that's actually a caveat, so not everyone's riding on animals, and fighting in battle. But it's like, first of all, that would be cool as fuck. Don't tell me you wouldn't play a shooter where you could ride on a bear and like everyone else is like riding on horses and bears, just fighting each other. That sounds cool. But the thing is, people don't do it anyways. Like everyone, like the moment you start trying to do it, you realize it's pointless and you go back to it. That novel, like when I saw that in the training, I thought it was so fucking cool. I thought like, oh, I would be this all the time. I'm going to be that bullet sponge everyone's relying on. I'm going to be riding in a battle. But no, it's not that. And every character just feels the same unless you use their ult ability. So I'm just asking why they chose to use an ult, like, have this hero system. It just doesn't make sense. At least with Apex Legends, like, there was plenty, like each player, like, despite, I mean this, and also Valorant, I'm gonna put this out there, despite every player like character having the same movement and having the same like movement abilities in terms of like, you know, like you could both like, you know, sliding on zip lines or like, you know, Apex Legends, you know, mantling and stuff. What separated them is you had to like they also did really cater to playing styles. You know, if you really wanted sniper characters, you would pick the character that was better at sniping, that like had more of a cloaking vibe, that ran more. And if you wanted to be more fast-paced and have your weapons cater towards fast-paced gameplay, you would play that. So it just doesn't make sense. Like for example, that wolf lady in Apex Legends, if you wanted to move around the map fast but also silently, you would pick her. That is why there was, you know, different, you know, honestly, that was kind of like their main selling point with Apex Legends. It wasn't the ult abilities. Wait, did they have ult abilities? Now I'm questioning everything at this point, right? I swear I've played it before. Does Apex Legends have ult abilities? No, not alter. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Okay, thank you, alter, even though that's not what I looked up for. So, they already have play styles that cater to it. Wanted to get out fast? Well, you have alter. With Valorant, if you wanted like more of like that sentry vibe, or like you wanted to prepare for like when an enemy was coming into a room, you had like that one glasses girl that was like a lesbian, and I love her porn, and like she placed down robots that were sentries, motion detectors. Forgot what her ult ability was, because again, it's been so long since I played Valorant. But it added something to it. And even TF2 has some form of ult abilities with some characters. For example, with Medic has the Uber charge. With Scout with the baby face blast, if you keep shooting players, you get faster. Now, it's not an ult ability, but still, yeah. Also, there was like the atomic bonk, where like if you drink it, you just move really fast. With Soldier, like you have that rage meter. I don't know. You have like something with Demo Night that like makes it so you could instantly cut people's heads off the more you do it. And that's the thing. It was incentivized with the gameplay, and also with the weapons that you chose in TF2, and like the equipment can change your gameplay. Like, think about Deadpool right now, like in Marvel Rivals. That is kind of the, I'd say, better version of Deadpool, because like it wasn't in single slots. You basically could change a lot of gameplay depending on, you know, the style you chose for it with most of the mercenaries. It was a build. Same goes with what is it? Was it Payday? Payday did the same thing. And every character that, like, you know, with your career and progress, had reasons to exist. And that's why builds exist. MMORPGs have builds. But Highguard, I'm not saying like Highguard's an MMORPG that needs builds, because it obviously doesn't, but there's just no incentive to really pick someone other than for their ult ability. Like, I've barely seen people use their normal abilities, because you're just not incentivized to it. Why would you use your ability when you have a gun that's supposed to be really good when it's like at Legendary? See where I'm like getting at here? It just doesn't make sense. The gameplay is sluggish, the character designs are bland at best, and the gameplay is repetitive and boring. I only tried this game because people were saying, oh, it was getting better, and they were going to have like this cyberpunk moment, right? But it's like, yeah, they fixed the game, they gave a better mode, but you can't fix shit. What made Cyberpunk and Battlefront actual wins for the gaming industry is that there was something to grasp. There was a game under all the bugs and flaws that were in the gameplay. Under all the microtransactions with Battlefront, under the mediocre slop that was being pushed out at the time, there was still an amazing Star Wars game. Like, seriously. I'll say this right now. As much as, like, if you, like, see me in those, like, Ruby and Blue streams, right? Where I shit on Halo Infinite about its sandbox. I want y'all to know, as much as I call it boring, it's not shit. Alright? Because the sandbox is still there. You could still get creative, and at the end of the day, it could still be fun. And what I mean by boring is just the weapons themselves are just boring to use. In the sense that, like, they don't really offer something new to the franchise that I haven't used already, just with a different coat of paint. But with Highguard, it's so much worse. I wanted to give this game a chance. I genuinely wanted to be wrong. I wanted to be like, oh yeah, I take everything back, it's actually a really good game, but it's not. It is basically how boring Concord was. This is supposed to be a quadruple... No, I'm not gonna say that because this is not the same to do. This is supposed to be AAA gaming. A fucking boring free-to-play FPS. Like, the game is not shit. It runs. I will say that. It is not a shit game. It is a boring game. It feels like an anti-game. It feels like that one Call of Duty knockoff game someone made that was quite literally made to make fun of Call of Duty. The weapons, again, are just not fun. They feel like Apex Legends weapons if they had none of the soul into them. At least Halo Infinite's weapon sandbox had soul. I will say that. Alright? As much as I hate Halo Infinite, I still play it because it's still, at the end of the day, can be fun. I might want to blow my brains out after a few matches, but I still have fun at some point. With Highguard, it just feels like no incentive. Again, one game mode on launch. One game mode. And that is Siege. There is no other game mode. This was supposed to be better? This is what Titanfall 3 died for? Like what? Well, why? It one game mode. You have a hero shooter with one fucking game mode. They got away with this in Apex Legends. Because, well, first of all, it was a battle royale. And battle royales, and this was before Fortnite had game modes. Yeah, Fortnite has game modes now, but you're still gonna be playing the battle royale most of the time. It's just like, why? You'd think that when players complain about not having enough content on launch, that developers would add more gameplay on launch. Like, I'm so... Like, this isn't 2015 anymore. I'm sorry to bring this up, that this isn't 2015 anymore, where this is acceptable. Where you could make a throwaway game mode and get $1 million. Because gaming back then was so much different. It was so much different. You didn't need many game modes at the time, because that's not what games were offering at the time. The only games that were really offering a variety of game modes was Halo and COD. And I also think Battlefield, but I didn't really play Battlefield growing up. I did play Battlefield 4 a tiny bit, but that's all I could say about Battlefield. But even then, it was slowly becoming redundant because Valve was releasing... There was a reason why Valve was such a juggernaut, because every game they released had so much content in it. CSGO had, when it launched and was really getting developed, was having so many game modes. And that's why, like, even me, to this day, has a problem with CS2, because they not only got rid of content, and actually bring content in just to get rid of it, but have less game modes. And that this is a bad precedent that we're putting in. When Battlefield launched, the new Battlefield, I was amazed at how many game modes there were. Because I haven't seen that since Battlefront. The irony, actually. But you'd think after people would complain about Halo Infinite not having enough game modes, you would think that when people complained about what was it? There was so many other failed games. What was it? I'm trying to remember, because games are shit for a reason. You think when people complained about, and still kind of complained about Doom, the Dark Ages not really having any game mode outside of campaign. When people complained, stalling, complained about like any other fucking new release not having game modes. When Halo campaign evolved, not having a multiplayer. When Red Dead Redemption removed their only other game mode, which was multiplayer, that removed all the other game modes that were exclusive to multiplayer. When fucking oh my god, this is so hard to explain. But you'd think when the main complaint of games nowadays is that they release with so little content, like Call of Duty and Halo, you'd think how good Battlefield has gotten with so many of their game modes now. How good Helldivers has it with their generally changing maps and story modes, or not story mode, but in stories. You'd think when roguelike top-down shooters that are starting to offer infinite amounts of gameplay of how to play a fucking game, that the people at Highguard would be like, let's add another game mode that isn't like, if Highguard was a battle royale, I would excuse it for not having game modes. I still excuse that for battle royales, because the battle royale genre is just a game mode in itself. So I don't expect there to be game modes outside of like 3v3, 2v2, or like 3 squads, 2 squad, solo, 5 squad, shit like that, right? But this is not a battle royale. Right now, Splitgate 2 has more game modes than Highguard. And I'm talking about that when it released, when it launched. It had more game modes than Highguard. And someone would be like, oh, it's an extraction shooter. I've played extraction shooters. I've played looter shooters. I've played the shebang. If this is an extraction shooter, then something's wrong. Then something's seriously fucking wrong. Because I've played siege shooters. Quite literally. And I'm not even just talking about the fucking game called Rainbow Six Siege. I am talking about actual medieval siege, where you have to use these, like, I forget what they're called. These like wooden battering rams and knock down gates. I have played those. I've played those on PS5. I played those game modes, or these games, on Xbox Gold. But that was still the main thing about Xbox One. I played those. I've played, and when I mean this, I've played, I think it was called Portal Knights. To, like, again, other ones. But I have played Siege modes. This is not a Siege mode. This is just handhold simulator gunner shooter. My first and only game, I won a victory, right? And I feel like I don't deserve it. The enemy team was trying their asses off. I was doing squat and I still won? Wait, what? There were siege modes I've played in Halo. And I mean official Halo 5. Halo Reach. And you are trying to tell me games that released years ago. Games that can vote. Can fucking do a better job. Is that what you are trying to tell me? That these games did a better job? Like, seriously. Why? Why? It's just so fucking... I'm trying to find more things to complain about, but it's just like, what else do I say? There is people out there trying to tell you that this game is getting infinitely better with 5v5. No, it hasn't. Has not one bit. The game is the same boring, shitty game that it released in. It does not do anything to innovate on the genre, doesn't do anything to set itself apart. It's just the same shit you've been playing. And the reason why I bring up about this, because, like, I feel like there's a lot of dick suckers in communities. Now, I know there's a rich coming from me saying I'm going to still get campaign involved, despite, you know, not being happy with a Halo game since Halo 5. Alright? I am just saying this right now. If you like this game, you're a dick sucker. I'm sorry, there is just nothing enjoy. I will even give people the benefit of the doubt with Concord. This game has no content other than microtransactions. Skate, the slot that released recently, the one where, like, I actually fucking hated the voice, so, like, the announcer so much, I had to go in my settings and manually turn it off. And then, again, after, like, a few months, I went back in just to hear the voices again, and then be like, alright, I'm just gonna have to turn off the whole volume for the voices. Skate 4 has more content. You are telling me that this game is so much better than 5v5, with 5v5, right? It is so much better with it. Then why is it so fucking boring to play? You're just not engaging with the systems. I'm not asking for gold. I am not asking for the next game I'm going to be playing for years. Alright? I'm not one of those fucking Call of Duty streamers, right? That gets pissed whenever a game's not exactly like Call of Duty or whatever, and whines and cries about it. I'm not like one of those, like, Overwatch motherfuckers that is so desperately right now. And let's talk about Overwatch real quick. People are trying to say it's back now. You realize, right? They just renamed Overwatch 1, so there was no point to removing Overwatch 1. And there's also content gone from Overwatch 1 that are not, this isn't in this new Overwatch. And there was just no fucking point for Overwatch 2. It's not back. You are still playing Overwatch 2, right? Like, these people get it. You are still playing Overwatch 2. It is the same game as it was. Oh, we want to be... Overwatch is so back. No, the fuck it isn't. The moment it went Overwatch 2, it wasn't back. The game is fun. I'll give you that. It's still fun. But it's still Overwatch 2. It's not the same. You basically just took a pile of shit, rubbed some piss on it, and just said you took a pee. And like, in reality, you just still just still pissed and shit. It doesn't change the fact that you shitted. It's like God, I'm so fucking. Ugh. It's like, oh my god, it's like tomorrow, right? If Simon and Hightail said they're actually making a full new game, and they just re-released Hightail and called it Minecraft 2. At the end of the day, you're still playing fucking Hightail. try to tell. This is what it's wrong. It's like out of touch companies being like, oh yeah, this is what gamers want. This is what gamers want. A lot of people want to point fingers and say, oh, it's the people trying to put politics into my game, or oh, it's the fucking it's the fucking gamers are actually wrong. The game's actually really good. No, it's the out of touch fucking people with tuxedos, right? Fucking going to Diddy parties, trying to be having the entire market all be based off of the words of a pedophile. If you read that files, you know what I'm talking about. That wasn't really a fucking gamer. Like as much as he had an Xbox Live. Really, did Epstein play Xbox Live, or was it the fucking kids in the island? Just gonna put that out there. But still, we're on the same business model that we've had since, I'd say, late 2014, probably like prime 2017. The same one, like the same business model of just pay more, and players keep complaining about it. But instead of actually going out of their way to make a good game, they actually just make the same shitty games more high budgeted and free. I get it. When Warframe came out, it changed the landscape of what games could be, especially free-to-play games, showing that AAA like gaming could be possible with a freemium market. But Warframe only works because I want to play Warframe. Warframe has reasons for me to stay and potentially buy the premium currency. Halo doesn't. Actually, no, I'll say this. Halo Infinite gave me a reason. It had some fucking cool armors. Had some nice Battle Pass items. But other than that, didn't really see the point. Oh, if Halo Infinite, right, had all, hell, they are still committing to the freemium market with the new Halo multiplayer game that's, in development. And it's just don't make it free. If you don't want to have to rely on cosmetics, stop making games free. Stop it. Just stop it. For once in your life. You do not need to milk people's money out if you just add a paid for game and not make it so inflated in price that people will pay for it. Believe it or not, people are more likely to buy a $60 game than they are an $80 game. I'm just saying. Just putting it out there. Maybe putting your game at even with the deluxe telling me I have to buy so the deluxe version. So the new Silent Hill. This is my only complaint of Silent Hill ever. I'm gonna be honest. Doesn't get, and the same with Doom: The Dark Ages, right? I could pay $100, right? $100, and I still don't get all the content because I didn't actually do a pre-order of it, right? But the thing is, the pre-order was the same price as the special edition. At this point, it was the same price. Actually, the special edition went down in price. You're trying to tell me that I cannot get the other content? I get it if it was a physical copy that you pre-ordered, but that's your whole marketing for me to pre-order. I would just get an extra skin. Even Halo Infinite realized how bullshit that was. And that's why they released Scorpion Punch for free. Because they realized players just are so fucking, like, it just didn't make sense. Didn't make sense at all. This game was a flop on arrival. I'm just gonna say that right now. It was a flop when it was shown, and it was a flop when it arrived. Just adding, making it so that more players can play is not fixing the issue. We're listening to you guys. Yeah. So can you just change the entire fucking game and give us a product that players would actually want? We Splitgate learned their lesson, but Highguard, no. We're still gonna have the same fucking bullshit mechanics. I can't wait. I just can't wait, guys. So until 2 years later, where I finally get to play a finished product. But right now, I could actually get some skins with FOMO. And this is my problem with the game industry as a whole right now. Right now, it is so greedy. There's jokes I want to make about it, but I'll refrain from making the Jewish jokes. Because like I feel like that's like way too far. But seriously, do we need to be this greedy? The game that barely has content, guys. I'll be able to get more content by paying money for content. You seeing the problem here? Yeah, you seeing the problem here? Seeing the problem here? Hey, how it's fucking bullshit for me to pay for more content? The only like business model that works with this is MMORPGs. Because it makes sense. Their expansions are called expansions for a reason. I still have the base storyline to go through. You're trying to tell me that EA was less greedy than most developers? Must be a Christmas miracle. Holy shit. Oh my god. People are like, you should really try this game. If you want to watch paint dry, play this game. You'll love it. But it is one of the most boring experiences I've ever played. And I don't care if like someone's gonna be like, actually, I've played the game for like 1 billion hours. It's actually really good if like you really get into it. I get it. Some games get better the more you play them, like Arcanite's Enfield. Yeah, I'll show that. And like gacha games, that's the whole point. Like, the more you play, the better the game gets. That's how they, like, lock you in. Because, like, it's a skill in, like, getting better. Because they take what RPGs already do and expand it to, like, a level where it's, like, it's for a core fan base. This is not for anyone. And I'm tired of people just saying this game is good. It's not. It is not good. It's not. You think the 3v3 was the only thing that was wrong with Highguard? Was it the fact that it was a hero shooter? Sorry, I'm slowing my mug down. Pixel Gun 3D. The sequel they're making, by the way, listed as hero shooter. So guess who is not playing Pixel Gun 3D 2 at launch? Guess who is not going to be playing any all? And guess who was fucking right about new hero shooters being lame and boring? Once again, I was right about the Mr. Beast and Dog Pack situation. Who knew I would be right about this? Who knew I would be right to just say that that people that like hero shooters are the new fucking battle royales? It's just the most laziest, most disgusting marketplace. You will get a gem. Don't get me wrong. Marvel Rivals, still one of the best games in the business. Deserves all of its success, I tell you. Despite having actual continuity errors and visible mistakes in promo art, it is still a better game than any of this other shit. What do devs think? That, like, when we say we want less content, I mean it, like, we mean it in the sense we don't want to play 100 hours to finish a game. That's what it means. But I don't want to be playing what feels like a tech demo. This Highguard feels like it wasn't even cooked. It wasn't even in the oven long enough. It feels like I am playing a demo. I feel like I am playing at, like, a game that's, like, highly controlled at, like, E3. You're trying to tell me this is the product that was finished? This product was finished. Again, no, Halo Infinite was more finished than this. Bullshit. They uploaded. This is not early. There's no early access. Actually, no. Let's see if this is early access. I don't see our early access. No. This is finished product. Finished game mode. That's it. This is the game. This is a finished product. And despite being more megabytes, gigabytes, right? Actually, so CA4 is at 9 gigabytes right now. Highguard is at 24.68 gigabytes. And for me to tell you how bullshit that is, right now, the entire... So, guess what happened with Helldivers 2? Nothing big, right? So, they took a 130 gigabyte game and downsized it to 22 gigabytes. The entirety of Helldivers 2 right now is 22 gigabytes. It will not even leave a dent on most hard drives. And has more content than Highguard ever will. And not only that, has more complex rendering than Highguard. With and procedural generation. All happening at once. There are death counters being in effect as we speak right now. You could go on Helldivers and actively see player progression in real time. Highguard is 22. You know, Highguard should be the same as Skate. Actually, probably even more. This should be a 5 gigabyte game. I will say that right here, right now. Helldivers has opened my mind to how much that these studios don't compress their files. Because right now, not only are they robbing you of their time, they're robbing you of storage space. So that you're more likely to not delete it and having to re-download it if you ever want to give it a try. And I can guarantee you, Marvel Rivals will continue to decrease, because Marvel Rivals went from like 107 to 99 gigabytes. And I can only assume it is going to go even more down. Yeah. I'm just putting this out there. Not even, I would even say, not even Valve is downsizing their games. At all. believe it or not, CSGO shouldn't have been 22 gigabytes. And CS2 should be 60 gigabytes. Oh, I gotta. I gotta go help my mom, but please put this into consideration for the future of gaming. So stop giving Highguard excuses. It is a bad game, and I will sit on this throne and die if I have to on that. I am not going to be playing anymore. I'm not going to give this company more of my time. If you play one match, you've experienced 90% of the content this game has to offer.